Archaeologists have shown findings that confirm the existence of UFOs on our planet, a man-made metallic object that is more than 60 million years old. What did they find inside the alien mummies? What is the old man who is almost 200 years old hiding? Were we really created by artificial intelligence? You must watch this video until the end. And if you like this type of content, subscribe to our channel. It's free. Number 1. Humanoid creature. A couple from Switzerland discovered on the riverbank a strange head of a humanoid creature with big eyes and a long neck. Photos of the discovery were posted online with the caption, "I found the head of an alien statue in the river." This post garnered over 61,000 likes and many comments. Although the head really looked like an alien, it was later discovered that this sculpture was made by students many years ago. One of them used silicone molds to create concrete sculptures and covered them with fluorescent paint. When the students moved away, the sculpture was lost or thrown into the river. Number 2. Vatican Alien Archives. Ufologist Steve Bassett claims that the Catholic Church hides evidence of the existence of extraterrestrial life in its archives and calls on the Pope to reveal this information. According to him, the Church has known about contacts with extraterrestrial civilizations for a long time, but intentionally hides it. Bassett presents several pieces of evidence. First, in medieval paintings, he noticed strange images that he believes indicate the influence of UFOs. Rabbits fighting with knights or trumpeters using their bodies in unusual ways. Second, in 2011, Vatican astronomer Guy Consolmagno joked that the Church is ready to baptize aliens if they are found. Bassett interpreted this as a hint at a secret Vatican program to prepare for contact with extraterrestrial beings. The third piece of evidence is former U.S. intelligence officer David Grush's statement that in 1933, Italy discovered a UFO and Pope Pius VII handed it over to the U.S. Bassett urges the public to demand the Vatican show these files to the world. Number 3. Missing 100 years ago on Everest Andrews Sandy Irvine, who along with George Mallory attempted to conquer the summit of Everest, got lost trying. Irvine's family did not know his fate for a long time, and the discovery brought them relief. The team found a boot during the melting of the glacier. Experts suggested it belonged to Irvine. The relatives had already lost hope of finding their traces. To them, Uncle Sandy was always a family hero they spoke of with reverence. Irvine was only 22 years old and is believed to have been carrying a camera with undeveloped film that could contain photos of the summit. Now, Irvine's family has provided a DNA sample to confirm the identity of the remains found. Number 4. What did they find inside the alien mummies? In 1999, Mexican journalist and ufologist Jaime Maussan made a sensational statement about the alien mummies found in Peru. According to him, rare metals and alloys were found within these bodies that could have served as devices for intergalactic communication. One of these metals is osmium, a rare and very expensive element used in telecommunications and space technologies. However, it is also known for its toxicity and danger to humans. Maussan suggests that the devices found could be something like mobile phones that the aliens use to communicate. This could be a communication device, although no one knows how it works. The osmium found is especially surprising, as it is not only difficult to find, but also deadly dangerous. If someone wanted to create a fake, why would they put such a rare and toxic metal inside? Currently, the bodies of aliens are being investigated in laboratories. However, many scientists are skeptical about these findings. According to them, the mummies could have been assembled from the parts of various animals. Number 5. The immortality of Greenland sharks. In the case of Greenland sharks, known for their longevity, there was an unexpected twist that could hold the key to solving the mystery of longevity, not only of these fish, but also of humans. These sharks, which live in the cold waters of the Atlantic and Arctic seas, can live up to 500 years. One of the oldest sharks, born around 1624, is older than Peter the Great. Scientists in Copenhagen are actively studying these sharks to understand the secret of their longevity. Previous research showed that slow metabolism plays a key role. The theory of the rhythm of life suggests that the duration of life directly depends on the speed of metabolic processes in the organism. However, recent data indicates the importance of the habitat. Greenland sharks live in cold waters where the temperature can drop to minus 1.8 degrees Celsius. Living in such conditions slows down all chemical and biological reactions in your body, which could explain your longevity. Furthermore, they live in depths where they have practically no natural enemies, except man. Professor Holly Shields from the University of Manchester believes the isolated environment also contributes to its longevity. The metabolism of these sharks remains stable throughout their lives, which is not typical for most animals. Scientists have found no significant changes in the metabolic activity of your muscle tissue with age. In the future, the study of shark tissues at the Arctic University of Norway should help understand how climate changes and pollution affect marine inhabitants in the long term. Number 6. They discovered the home of the aliens. Scientists believe that exoplanet LHS 1140b could have a breathable atmosphere and an ocean of liquid water. This planet was discovered in 2014. But new research has revealed many mysteries of LHS 1140b. Due to its unusual appearance, it is called the Eye Planet. It is located 48 light-years from Earth in the constellation of Cetus and weighs 7 times more than our planet. Investigations with the NASA telescope confirmed the presence of water and a nitrogen-rich atmosphere similar to that of Earth. However, its local sun is a tiny star only 1/5 the size of our sun, emitting energy primarily in the red and infrared regions of the spectrum. Therefore, darkness probably reigns on the planet. If there is vegetation, it is probably black to absorb as much light as possible. Recent research has shown that the planet could be a mini Neptune made of gas or a mega-Earth covered in water. Scientists are inclined to think that this planet is a water world with a rocky core. It is also supposed to have a dense atmosphere and a stable climate. Astronomer Ryan McDonald of the University of Michigan noted that this is the first time we have seen an indication of an atmosphere on a rocky planet suitable for life. We may have found evidence of the presence of air there. Number 7. Advanced construction technology and Denmark archaeologists have made a major discovery at a 5,000-year-old settlement in Denmark. They have found a basement paved with stones, indicating significant progress in the building technologies of ancient Scandinavia. The discovery was made at the Gars 3 site, where remains of homes belonging to the funnel pottery culture were also found. In these houses, internal posts supporting the roof were discovered, and the floors were probably made of a mixture of sand and clay, a material known as loam, which is still used today. The location was chosen strategically as it was located on an elevation that provided flood protection and a good view of the surrounding area. Around the underground stone structure, archaeologists also found about 1,000 artifacts, including flint tools, pottery shards, and sea urchin fossils. Researchers assume that the underground structure served as a food storage facility thanks to its stable temperature. It could be one of the oldest basements in Europe, used as refrigerators to conserve resources. If future research confirms this, the find will be important evidence of technological advancement in ancient Europe. Number 8. Image of a car in an ancient temple. Sigara Madu Temple, also known as Pura Dalam Jaga, is located in northern Bali, 11 kilometers east of Singaraja town. The temple is located in the village of Jaga, known for a tragic event in 1849, when during the Dutch colonization, a mass ritual suicide of the local inhabitants occurred. Originally, the temple was built in the 10th century during the reign of King Raja Sri Aji Jaga, but was later destroyed during the Dutch invasion. Restoration of the temple began in 1865, and its current appearance has largely been maintained since then. The temple complex includes 2 temples, Pura Dalam, dedicated to Shiva, and Pura Prajapati, dedicated to Durga, reflecting their mythological roles as husband and wife in Hinduism. The walls of the temple are decorated with carvings depicting leaves, flowers, nagas, snakes, and human figures. Pura Dalam Sigara Madhu is associated with rituals of death and destruction as it is dedicated to Shiva. In the central courtyard, there are carved doors adorned with the head of a mythical creature called Homa, as well as pavilions for preparing offerings and performing rituals. This temple is unique because on its walls you can see scenes from the Western world, such as a plane falling into the sea or a ship attacking a car. These images appeared because Singaraja in the 19th and 20th centuries was the main seaport of Bali, through which contact with European civilization occurred. Number 9. Prison born of nature and man. In the small mining town of Clifton, Arizona, a unique prison that they called non-criminal was built in 1881. The city faced the problem of criminals sentenced to work in the copper mines, but many of them simply escaped without serving their sentence. To avoid this, the local authorities decided to create a prison from which it would be impossible to escape. The prison was built directly into a granite rock. For its construction, they hired the bricklayer Margarita Varela, who, with a pickaxe and explosives, excavated a tunnel in the rock that led to a cave. The cave was divided into 2 cells, one for the most dangerous criminals and another for those who committed less serious crimes. The cells had a window for air access, but were located 3 meters high. Varela installed heavy iron bars at the entrance, making the prison truly impregnable. Ironically, the first prisoner of this prison was its own builder. After finishing work, Varela went to a local bar to celebrate, but got drunk and started shooting in the air. The bartender, who was also the sheriff's deputy, arrested him for disorderly conduct, and Varela ended up in the prison he had built himself. The prison operated until 1906, when a major flood forced the prisoners to be evacuated. Number 10. Unique musical instrument Lviv archaeologists discovered valuable finds dating back to the Neolithic in Viniki. It turned out that people lived in this place about 5,500 years ago. The excavations were carried out in an ancient fortified settlement on Lisovka Hill near the town of Viniki. Representatives of the funnel pottery culture lived here. To study the settlement, scientists carried out excavations in a total area of 140 square meters. They discovered a clay quarry, a place where clay was extracted for making pottery and building houses. Usually, these clay quarries were located on the outskirts of settlements, but here, one was found in the center, changing the traditional idea of planning. The quarry was also used as a landfill, where archaeologists found numerous fragments of pottery, animal bones, and tools. Another interesting find was an egg-shaped clay device with 2 clay balls inside. The egg was considered a symbol of life across cultures and could have been used for rituals, warding off evil spirits, or entertaining children. Number 11. The ancient pharaoh was a mutant. Scientists say the Egyptian pharaoh Akhenaten could have been a human-alien hybrid. Stuart Fleischmann, associate professor in the Department of Comparative Genomics at the Swiss University in Cairo, and his team conducted a 7-year DNA investigation on 9 ancient Egyptian pharaohs. Their results could change our understanding of ancient history. They used the polymerase chain reaction method to obtain an accurate genetic profile of the pharaohs. Nothing unusual was found in 8 DNA samples, but the DNA of Akhenaten, who lived in the 14th century BC, showed significant anomalies. One of the genes, CXPAC5, responsible for the growth of the cerebral cortex, was especially active in Akhenaten, which could explain his enlarged skull, a feature depicted in ancient Egyptian statues. The high activity of this gene suggests that Akhenaten had a more developed brain. Scientists cannot explain how such a mutation occurred, since similar changes in the human brain are unknown to science. This suggests that ancient Egyptians may have been subjected to genetic manipulations by extraterrestrial beings. Number 12. Monumental settlement in Croatia. In the Croatian village of Storch near Split, archaeologists discovered the remains of a settlement dating back about 3,500 years. One of the key discoveries was an ancient Greek defensive wall more than 70 meters long, making it one of the best preserved Greek structures in Croatia. Storch is located along the picturesque coast of Croatia, and the excavations were carried out on a construction site. Archaeologist Marina Ugarkovic from the Institute of Archaeology highlighted that the wall reaches a depth of more than 3 meters in some places, which makes it truly monumental. This discovery is comparable to ancient archaeological finds around the world. Number 13. Our world created by artificial intelligence archaeologists have found remains dating back to the Middle Bronze Age, indicating that the settlement existed long before the arrival of the Greeks. Professor Melvin Hobson of the University of Portsmouth has put forward the theory that we live in a computer simulation and that evidence for this can be found in the Bible. Hobson claims that the text of the Gospel of John confirms this idea and suggests that our reality was created by artificial intelligence. The Gospel begins with the words, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." Hobson believes that the verb is the code that controls the simulation. According to him, this code is the basis of everything that exists. God, in this conception, is not a separate entity, but part of the simulation, possibly an advanced artificial intelligence that controls our universe. Another quote from the Gospel that Hobson refers to says, "All things were made through him, and without him, nothing was made that was made." The scientist believes that this also confirms his hypothesis that the world was created through the word or code. The act of creation can be seen as a programming process that resulted in simulation. The simulation could also explain how God was able to create the world in 6 days, as described in the Bible. If we imagine our world as a product of artificial intelligence, the start of the simulation could happen very quickly. In this way, Hobson believes that his theory does not contradict religious beliefs, but rather gives them a modern explanation. Scientists also point to the physical limitations existing in our reality as possible signs of simulation. For example, limitations on the speed of light and sound could be the result of the work of a processor that controls the simulation. The laws of physics that govern the universe resemble complex algorithms, and elementary particles can be compared to pixels on a screen. Another piece of evidence Hobson considers is the symmetry present in nature, the patterns of snowflakes, butterflies, and other objects. He believes this could be a form of resource saving used in the simulation to create the world. The simulation theory is not only supported by Hobson, but also by other well-known personalities. Elon Musk, for example, claims that the probability of us living in a base reality is extremely low, almost 1 in billions. Number 14. What the ancestors of the Chinese were like, archaeologists in China have for the first time reconstructed the faces of people who lived 57,000 years ago in the Neolithic era in the Huanghe River region. These ancient people belonged to the Yangshao cultures, and their settlements were located on terraces along the river. For centuries, Chinese people have wondered what their ancestors were like, and now they have an answer. During the 4th archaeological expedition to the Yangshao settlement, scientists analyzed the remains and reconstructed the appearance of 2 people. One of them lived about 5,600 years ago and was a man of about 40 years old. The other was a 50-year-old man from the Longshan era, about 4,000 years ago. The reconstruction of the faces was carried out using 3D scanning, printing, and ancient DNA analysis. These technologies made it possible to recreate facial features with an accuracy of 90%. Yangshao was an important culture, and excavations revealed various artifacts, including pottery, tools, and even traces of alcohol. Number 15. We are pets on a huge farm. Humanity may not be the only intelligent species in the universe, but there is still no evidence for the existence of extraterrestrial life. One of the arguments in favor of their possible existence is the Drake equation, which suggests that there should be many extraterrestrial civilizations. Recently, a group of scientists modified this equation, including the number of exoplanets found and reducing the number of variables to 2, the number of habitable planets and the probability of intelligent life emerging. The results showed that there could be billions of developed worlds, but the time frames of their existence were not taken into account. Astronomers from the universities of Columbia and Sydney reviewed the equation and concluded that either the universe must be full of life or it is extremely rare. The Fermi paradox highlights this enigma. According to scientific data, intelligent life should exist, but we see no signs of it. One of the hypotheses that explains this paradox is the zoo hypothesis, proposed by radio astronomer John Ball. He suggested that extraterrestrial civilizations exist, but they intentionally avoid contact with humanity, observing us as if we were exhibits in a zoo. They may want the Earthlings to develop on their own without outside intervention. This approach is reminiscent of the situation with the Sentinelese people on an island in the Indian Ocean who have rejected contact with the outside world and whose wish is respected by others. Similarly, an extraterrestrial civilization could intentionally avoid interfering with our progress, observing our development from a distance. However, the zoo theory receives criticism. Number 16. The Indian Titanic. The merchant ship SS Lawa was sunk on November 20, 1942 by a Japanese submarine in the Indian Ocean, 1,000 kilometers off the Seychelles Islands. There were 958 people on board the ship, including 732 passengers. The liner, which left Mumbai for Durban, was hit by 2 torpedoes and sank to a depth of more than 4,500 meters. Due to the lack of lifeboats, 280 people died, and the rest were rescued by ships of the British fleet. The SS Lawa, nicknamed the Indian Titanic, was carrying a valuable cargo of 60 tons of silver intended for minting coins in the Union of South Africa. The value of the silver is estimated at $40 million, and the fate of this cargo remained unknown for almost 75 years. As a result of a deep-sea mission, the Argento team successfully recovered almost 2,391 silver bars stored in the warehouse. The precious metal was found in the ship's opium compartment. However, ownership of the cargo was disputed, and the case reached the UK Supreme Court. In 2017, the court ruled that the silver, valued at $43 million, belongs to South Africa. Number 17. The 188-year-old hermit recently, in one of the caves near Bangalore, a mysterious hermit who was supposedly 188 years old was found. However, it was discovered that the man known as Siam Baba is actually no older than 109 years old, which is still quite impressive. A video in which 2 people helped the emaciated man move went viral online, generating numerous comments and debates about his true age. Siam Baba is said to have been born in Mumbai and attended school until the 7th or 8th grade. He is a devout follower of Hinduism. Siam Baba dedicated his entire life to spiritual practices. After meeting a saint, he left his home and headed to the Himalayas, where he indulged in penance and religious meditations. Number 18. The Wolfsegg Artifact. In 1885, a worker named Riedel Beck discovered a mysterious artifact about 60 million years old, known as the Wolfsegg iron. He found it in a block of lignite in a foundry in Austria. This metallic object embedded in the coal greatly surprised the worker and his colleagues, who delivered it to the local museum. In 1886, geology professor Adolf Gerlt suggested that the artifact came from space. However, subsequent investigations showed that the artifact did not contain nickel, chromium, or cobalt, ruling out a meteoric origin. In 1973, An analysis by Dr. Hubertus Thomann revealed that the artifact was made by the lost wax casting method, suggesting its artificial creation. The artifact has an almost cubic shape, measures 67 by 47 mm, and weighs 785 g, made of solid steel. Its edges were sharp and straight, indicating its mechanical origin. Some experts believe it was a fragment of a much larger tool. Number 19. Coronation chocolate. This antique chocolate, manufactured by the R Company, was originally packaged in a tin box with portraits of King Edward and Queen Alexandra. Despite being 122 years old, the chocolate has been preserved, making this find truly unique. An O-Limited auctioneer valued the chocolate at £200. At the beginning of the 20th century, chocolate was a real novelty, and giving up such a delicacy was probably a difficult test for its owner. The chocolate was kept in its original packaging. Although it is not recommended to try it, it attracts attention not only as a rare artifact, but also as a souvenir of the royal era. Edward VII, Queen Victoria's eldest son, ascended the throne in 1901 and ruled for 9 years. He was known for his love of French culture and gastronomy. Number 20. UFO in 1665. In April 1665, 6 fishermen witnessed a mysterious celestial phenomenon, an aerial battle over the Baltic Sea near Stralsund. As night fell, a dark grey disk appeared in the sky. The 1665 UFO exhibition reconstructs how this event was presented in the media of the time and shows that many communication strategies used to report unexplained celestial phenomena are still relevant today. The central event of this exhibition was the aerial battle of April 8, 1665. Fishermen watched as flocks of birds transformed into ships fighting in the sky. Ghostly figures appeared on the covers. Soon, a flat disc appeared above the church of San Nicolas, and the fishermen fled in terror. The next day, they complained of tremors and body aches. The media of the time spread the news quickly, suggesting various versions of the origin of the phenomenon. At a time when religion played a huge role, people believed that the phenomenon was a sign sent by God. Number 21. From antiquity to modernity, archaeologists investigating an ornament found in a 5th century female tomb discovered its unexpected resemblance to the charivari, a traditional Bavarian accessory. This decorative element, composed of coins, keys, and amulets, had a symbolic meaning and could reflect the status of the owner. During excavations in Bavaria in 2016, an unusual collection of objects united into a single accessory was found in the tomb of a young girl from the 5th century. The set included 2 bronze keys, a case for bone needles, bronze rings, 3 Roman coins with holes, a pendant decorated with a walnut and other interesting artifacts. These objects, attached to leather straps, reminded researchers of the elements of charivari, a jewelry known in Bavarian culture. The find attracted the attention of scientists as it could indicate the ancient origins of the charivari. This accessory probably symbolized status or cultural identity. Number 22. Gold jewelry from space. Among the shining gold and treasures of Bronze Age Iberia, 2 modest objects may be the most valuable of all. A corroded and rusted hemispherical object decorated with gold turned out to be not simply a metal artifact. The researchers discovered that they were not made of metal mined from the earth, but rather iron from meteorites fallen from the sky. This discovery, published in January, demonstrates that metal processing technology in Iberia more than 3,000 years ago was much more advanced than previously thought. The so-called Treasure of Villena, a collection of 66 gold objects, was found in 1963 in Alicante, Spain. It is considered one of the rarest examples of Bronze Age jewelry art in the Iberian Peninsula and throughout Europe. However, the true age of the collection was difficult to determine, mainly due to 2 artifacts: the hemispheres, probably part of a scepter or sword hilt, and a bracelet. These objects had an iron appearance that raised questions for archaeologists. The Iron Age in the Iberian Peninsula began around 850 BC, while gold materials and treasures date to the period between 1500 and 1000 BC. However, iron, as it turned out, did not necessarily have to be from terrestrial minerals. Some Bronze Age artifacts, including Tutankhamun's famous iron dagger, were made from meteoric iron, which was highly valued in ancient times. And with this, we come to the end. Which of these disturbing discoveries do you find most surprising? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe for more great stories like this. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching and see you next time.